participation, public comment. Members, are there any cards?
Yeah.
No cards. All right. Well, we'll move right on. Board committee reports and correspondence. Anyone?
Before I attended the safety classroom committee, there is an item coming forth tonight, which Tammy I think is going to present. But I just want to give compliments to him and the staff. It was really an educational meeting, and a lot of good things that they talked about in that session. And then also the joint task force between the school district and the city. Our next meeting is next Tuesday night. We did meet 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. Yeah, between our meetings. And I think we can start to see some different options put out between the two boards. I think we've done all the information exchange this stuff. So 6 o'clock next Tuesday.
Okay. Anyone else? Nikki?
Nina and I were negotiating. Because the curriculum council meeting last week on Thursday, something, and discussion, good discussions talking about initial returns.
It's in relatively capable hands. We did a lot of information about new texts they're looking at, support the curriculum.
Tech committee met simultaneously with the safety task force. But again, just meeting and discussing about administrations we're going to effectively implement in schools, seeing what the tech is out there and how it's been implemented. I love finding out how they funded it, basically, so we don't reinvent the wheel essentially. A lot of effort's been going on with our faculty, just trying to make sure that we learn as much as possible from the schools that have been out there, which is fantastic. And I always say the attitude and the drive a lot of these teachers have to implement something that they truly believe is going to be better than the student. When you're around people like that, it's just great to be around a bunch of positive people, energetic, ready to raise the bar and dive in and do more than you're required to do. So I really enjoy my time.
Anyone else? I've got just a couple pleasantries here. Indulge me with this, but if anyone drove by the high school today, it was drag your tractor to school day. And there was a couple out there that were pretty staggering. I mean, I just drove by from the road. I was like, holy cow. So this is FFA week, and you may see other things like that. If you're heading to that some of the elementary schools are going to, if you have a friend or friend's child or something that's in FFA, help support them this week, because this is their time to shine. I didn't notice how many of those tractors started after sitting outside. But I wanted to congratulate 6 forensic students that qualified for the state forensics tournament. We had our 16th, I believe it was, consecutive sectional title in forensics, which is, I don't care what you compete in, 16 times in a row is something. 10th region. So hats off to them, and competing at the state level in anything is very, very difficult. So I wish them the best. I also wanted to congratulate 4 DeKalb wrestlers that qualified for the state tournament. This is the most that has gone downstate in quite some time. If you were there Friday night to see the preliminary rounds, there were 4 concussions and 2 broken bones. That's the kind of evening that was. So to survive that and end up getting on a bus to go downstate, something so good for them, and best of luck to them. And lastly, the girls basketball team ended up being the sole conference champions. They didn't have to share the signal. So it was quite a week for DeKalb last week, even throughout the cold weather and everything else. So good luck to everyone going forward. And again, competing at the state level and anything is very difficult. So best of luck to all. Okay. Now we're going to move on to presentation. We have the fiscal year 12 and 13 audit and comprehensive annual financial report. This is Andrea Corla and Scott Klein.
And I'd like to turn it over to Scott Klein, who's the auditor on our financial audits. And he's going to just walk you through briefly that page by page. The lovely book in front of you.
Thank you, every good evening. We're here to look at the June 13 audit report. As we talked about, this is the comprehensive annual financial report. We do about 30 school districts in our firm. About 20% of those prepare these comprehensive financial reports, and the percentage is much less than we go statewide. So it's really a good report. I'm going to briefly go through what's in there, but basically, not a lot of districts take the time and effort to put these together, and when you do, and you get the awards that are embedded in this document, it really means that you've given a potential reader for your district most everything they're going to possibly want to know about the district. It gives you just a wealth of knowledge. So I'm going to go through it briefly here and talk about it. This report is basically 3 sections. The introductory section gives a nice letter from the district. They call it the transmittal letter. It talks about the district and gives us sort of a input from the district. Gives you personnel in here, gives you an organizational chart, and then we move into the second section, which is the financial section. That's really the guts. That's where we have the basic financial statements and footnotes and the fund financial statements. So within there, the reader gets a good view of each and every fund of the district, budget and actual presentations for expenditures and revenues, and they can really see what the fund balances are and all the goings on for the year. Now, within that financial section at the beginning, for someone who's looking for a quick overview of financial statements, they have what's called a management discussion and analysis, which is also a very good, concise document. It gives basically a brief picture of what happened during the course of the year and what's expected for the future. It's really a high-level overview for someone who's potentially not as versed as the district. Start there. That way they get a good overview before they dive into the financial statements. The third and final section of this report is partly what sets it apart from a regular report, is the statistical section. And this section just gives you a myriad of data up to 10 years for a lot of it, of revenue, expenditures, overlapping debt, property tax rate. It just gives you so many pieces to look at that a lot of the numbers that come from these schedules are what the bonding companies look at, actually. So, you know, they're happy to see these kind of reports because they see everything they want to know about the district. And a potential reader can look at this and look at that overlapping debt. Property tax rates for 10 years running, and you just get a good picture of where the district's been and where it's going when you look at that statistical section. It's a lot of data, obviously. It's a bedtime reading, but it really gives, by the time you've gotten to the back of the report, it gives you a really good picture of where the district is, what their underlying tax base is, and where they're at in their revenue expenditures on a 10-year time frame. I was just going to look at one page briefly, just to talk about fund balances. Andrea said that in your pamphlets for your board packet, you have a nice overview of the fund balances for the district. And so, in conjunction with that, this report has a variety of pages. Page 54 talks about the general fund of the district. And it's, from a reporting standpoint, that's the primary operating funds of the district. It includes the educational fund, the operation and maintenance fund, and the working cash fund. So that is your primary fund that roll it together. But at the end of the year, we were looking at about a fund balance of about $24 million with all 3 of those funds combined. And you'll see that number going in the front of the statements under what they call the general fund. The subsequent page talks about the revenues and expenditures for the year of that general fund, a combination of those 3 funds. And so this is sort of the beginning where they start with the fund financial statements, and then we go back into the individual funds. One of the important things I like to talk about when I come to board meetings is obviously the financial statements are very important. The awards of this financial statement is we give 2 awards actually, one from the ASBO International Association of School Business Officials and the GFOA, which is the Government Finance Officers Association. And so those awards are Very prestigious, basically means this report's being graded and scrutinized by other CPAs in the industry to make sure that it lives up to the standards that it should for this nature. What I'd like to mention in addition to the report, though, is that we're really here to work for you. Basically, our district's auditors here is to look at the procedures, look at the controls over the district, and that's what we do. We come in and we go through the payables process, the receivables, the revenue process, the payroll process. And to say that we look at all the transactions, of course, we don't. We just do transactions in the district. But we select a sample, we go through there, and we're looking for controls to be as they're documented, basically. See if they're running smoothly. We're happy to report that there were no material weaknesses or weaknesses found during the course of our audit. So I always think that's important to point out. It means that the district's functioning the way it should be, at least with the transactions we tested, which is important. So that's something that every district strives to achieve, obviously, and that's something we want to hear from your auditors when you come in for any of this type of thing. That was really the presentation for the report. I'm more than happy to go through any questions. Andrea, of course, knows where we live, so she can get a hold of us at any time during the year. We're more than happy to discuss any questions that you may have about reporting during the course of the year, obviously. The books and records are in good shape. The audit went smoothly. Andrea and her staff had things in good order. But if there's any specific questions to the financial statements or anything audit related, obviously, I'd be more than happy to discuss that now.
Scott, you need to remind me, is this your first time you did our school district?
This is the first year of our firm. Correct. So this is the first year of the report. Correct.
And you mentioned your firm does about 30 other schools.
We do 30 schools and cooperatives. Correct.
In a broad sense, give us your perspective of our financial, where we are financially compared to majority of the districts.
Looking at that page 55, for example, 55 talks about your fund balance for those three major funds. And when you look at this reflects expenditures of about $73 million for those three funds. And when you look at the education fund in specifics, you have $66 million worth of expenditures, you have about a $5 million fund balance. So you have about a month's reserve there. That, based on our population, what we do is there's districts that are stronger. There's also districts that are weaker. So you're probably about in the middle. You're on a tight budget, so to speak. I mean, you have to be fiscally responsible. And you have a nice working cash fund with $15 million, which does help for the ups and downs of a district because of the property tax payments, as you know, that's come in on a periodic basis. The O&M fund, for example, has a little healthier fund balance. It has $3.7 million on expenditures of $6.7 million. So, yeah, I would say overall, you're obviously not in a horrible situation, but it's where you have to keep reins on the school district expenditures, and I believe that's what you're doing. And that was part of the process. When you look at these 10-year statistical schedules, you can see both those revenues and the expenditures and how they've increased over the years, and you can get a good picture of where the district is going from there. So, yeah, on a basis of our 30 districts, you're somewhere in the middle, basically. Hope that was a concise enough answer.
That's fine.
Anyone else? Questions?
Are we properly staffed to do our financials?
Yeah, as I said, the thing that I pride myself in pointing out is that the district had no issues with the processes, basically. And, for us to say that does not mean that we tore apart every single process, because we can't do that when we're in here for an audit. But what we do is look at it in an overview process. We look at those major functions, payroll, and payables, and there were no glaring issues. There were, we reported them. So, that's why I like to point out the fact that there were none, because you're giving you reports, there's some ancillary reports that come along with this that say that. So, yeah, the staffing was deemed appropriate during our audit.
I have no further questions.
This is what we did like a year or two ago. Controls that we saw that was brought up in the report. It was a similar report to this, correct?
Right.
Did we analyze that in this report as well? Just our cash controls and I mean, I went through this, but I didn't.
No, no, actually, anytime we get a finding from an auditor, we always make certain we circle around and take corrective action so that we don't have the same thing written up. And because of the way we're staffed, we do try and parse out jobs so that one person is doing everything from beginning to end, that there is other folks involved in there to do the checks and balances.
As auditors, while it's acknowledged this is our first year in our term of doing this, we look at the prior comments. So any auditor really should be looking at whatever transpired in the prior year and make sure that those issues are addressed. So yes, once there's something mentioned, it gets followed through to completion, hopefully.
And just to be clear, as Scott, the auditors compile the financial documents in the middle, but the statistical and the letters at the front end are truly ours. And we had worked probably for 4 years, and I know Cindy's in the room here, on getting this document together, because it's, a lot of times you have bits and pieces of it, but to compile it all in one book in one place is extremely important, I know, for anyone in my position, so that I can basically pick this up and anybody from the community can take a look at this and see the financial overview and the story of the district. Not just finances, but if you look in the statistical section, it's the makeup of the community and all of that. So it is really an excellent document, and as Scott has stated, we go through bond renewals every year, and you have to walk through all of these agencies with this document. And I will say, just having this document is something that any of the folks out there rating your bonds take into consideration, because it's a well-prepared financial picture with a historical perspective, all in one document.
Thanks again. I just want to say that I think Andy and Cindy, they're here. I mean, you usually don't have, you're usually the messengers of doom. But I just want to publicly compliment them for the work they do, and this is an excellent report with the information that's in there. So it's a lot of good information. So thank you for all your hard work on that.
Very good. Well, thank you very much. Like I say, everybody knows where we are, so if you have questions for the course of the year, feel free to contact us. I'll walk you through whatever.
Well, thank you, Scott. And I think one thing worth noting, Andrea, maybe you could just in one sentence summarize, we anticipated a 2.4-ish million dollar deficit for the year, and our actual was.
I think about $240,000. And that, of course, we have outlined in here. We actually received some additional revenues that we hadn't anticipated. One was the sale of the property that happened mid-year, so we hadn't planned on selling that property at the beginning of the year. And then actually on some of our grants, we fared better than anticipated. And again, those are things that you never know. Sometimes not up until actually the close of the year, when all of a sudden the state, takes a look at all of the reports that have been submitted and can reappropriate some dollars. So we fared well on that, and we've really been keeping a tight rein on our transportation costs. And I know that has not been a painless process, because we have changed that significantly, but it has helped us in our fund balance situation.
So the takeaway there is really simple. It's we found ourselves in a better spot than we had anticipated. But what Andrea and Cindy did very, very well is plan for what's probable, and then if you do better than that, you find yourself in a simply better spot. and tonight we do. So we're fortunate that way. So good job on that as well. Any other questions before we move on? All right, thanks. All right, local academic screening data. Laura Edwards, this is information item.
Hi again. I was here in the fall, I'm here in the winter, see you again in the spring. So right now we are going to show it's kindergarten and sixth grade data based on our winter benchmarking. And you can all adjust. We'll be looking at the screen here. So the first slide talks about the average scores read correct for the fall to the winter. Obviously, you fully expect to see growth, so it's good for you. If you were to go back to your fall presentation, you would see that there was data for the fall in first grade. Upon further review, we found that that was mistakenly entered. Essentially, what happened is two teachers were doing a project-based evaluation and administered the first grade RCEM in the fall. District-wide, we don't administer it until the winter, just based on students getting their skills up and ready to take that measure. So that you see now it shows a 0, whereas if you looked in the fall, it would have shown a number. So that's just one difference. And then this is a graph I chose to show you for winter. What this does is it takes and calculates the 50th percentile where our district is. So I'm just going to say we'll look at first grade. The bar is where the nation is at from the 50th percentile. So that means that of every 100 students, 50 are scoring there or above, 50 scoring there or below. So what we want to see is over time, if our kids are improving and our scores are getting better, we want to see our 50th percentile rise. So what used to be at the 50th percentile, we want to see get larger over time. So you can see, like in sixth grade, the yellow bar is the highest one up there so far in the eighth grade. So that's kind of what we like to see. You can see in first grade that the yellow bar is just a touch lower, but really it looks a bit stagnant in first grade. In second grade, we're seeing it drop. We saw the same thing in the fall when I showed you that over time. It's interesting kind of timely meeting today. As a result of some of this data we've been looking at, we've done that with the kindergarten teachers for the first time to start to really drill down. We understand the data is coming out in second grade, but we all know the biggest bang for our buck is going to be at kinder. And so we met with the kinder teachers this afternoon for about an hour and a half to start the conversation of what does all day kindergarten look like in your room? What are you doing that sort of stuff? So that's going to be continued work. That'll come back to the district leadership team tomorrow afternoon, and we'll make a plan with what we found from that. And then this is kind of switch gears to math now. Same thing where you see in first grade that they did not administer it in the fall, and then you'll see a winter data point pop up. So I want to be clear though, it's not the same measure, so it's not like our first graders are getting 23.3 points on average, and then suddenly they like, oh no, our second graders in the fall had 16.3. It's a different measure. It gets harder as each year goes, and the norms are different. So don't worry too much about comparing grade to grade. I did want to take just a few minutes and celebrate our fourth grade teachers across the district. What they have done with their students this fall to winter is absolutely wonderful. What these triangles show is based on where we are nationally. In the fall, our fourth grade kids across the district were coming in, about 40% of them were where they needed to be. They were hitting that national 50th percentile. 25%, or about 26% of them weren't quite there, but they were close. And then 33% of them were pretty far off. Okay, we were able to move from fall to winter, and we were able to grow the green, that's kind of the phrase we use, by 20%. I looked back historically for this cohort and for this grade level. That has never happened to this extent. Now, what's awesome about this is by growing the green, sometimes what we see is the green grows, but so did the red. So, you know, we kind of, by focusing on one group, the other group fell, or something like, or we'll see the red shrink, but that means the green did too, or it's stagnant. But you can see that even our red went from 33.5% to 15.4%. That is incredible growth. What is the theme at an individual kid level? So I mean, these are our neighbors. These are the kids we we go to church with, we see in the grocery store. We've got of those 107 in that middle ground 63 of them between fall and winter made enough growth to be on track in the green by the winter. The even neater part is if you look at the top, that red group was the group we were most worried about. 33 of them made enough growth to skip over yellow and fall into green in the winter. So this is, I mean, just absolutely a huge celebration for our grade 4, our teachers, our students, our support staff, everybody who works with those kids. It was just really exciting. I asked the principals, okay, you know, what do you think? Why do you think this is? What's going on? Because we have reading interventions, but we don't have, you know, a lot of resources devoted strictly to math. So this is interesting that we're seeing that growth. And a lot of them said that at the building they do one we call it intervention. They're really just an extra program called Rocket Math, which uses a technology component to have students work on their basic skills. And most of the principals, when they saw this data, had said that in their particular school, Rocket Math, that really helped with this. But just kudos to fourth grade. I had to take a minute and point that out. And you'll see now when we look at the 50th percentile, where that's gone over time, the gray bar is this year. And you can see fourth grade just skyrocket over that national and skyrocket over what they've had over time, which is just absolutely wonderful. On the flip side, you can see first grade is still struggling to reach the national, but in second grade we are going up. In math, we're not seeing quite the same dip in that what first grade and second grade that we see in reading. So, any questions about that? Yes, Tina.
Yeah, for you, but also Cam, I saw Kim and Anna, since you got the fourth grade teachers. Did I understand correctly that it was the technology component that they felt made a difference?
No, it's just that Rocket Math happens to have that component. So, no, it's not the technology completely.
No, the Rocket Math we do doesn't have technology, but it's there's probably a different version that another school might use. The Rocket Math is it's you know, the old-fashioned time test that we all took. You still take time tests, but the difference between the kind we took in school and what we're doing now is there's a practice piece built around the outside of the page. So before the kids take the test, it's a partner thing, and they practice these facts, and they try to get as fast as they can on them. So there's a built-in practice piece to it versus just next day you take the next test, and next day you take the next one. So that's what a bunch of the schools are starting to do. I don't know if all of us are yet, but many of us are.
Not all yet, but it's
yeah. And I think because, I mean, I know my building consider my fourth grade year for me was that they know the Common Core is coming, and they looked at it, and they're hitting those things extremely hard this year, which is straight out practice. So I think that's what made a big difference.
Laura, the 50th percentile line, I noticed that never varies.
Mm-hmm.
Is it always the same over the years, or should
so what
does that have a variance as well?
They're taking the national norm from 2013-14 as a 50th percentile on these reps. So you are right that the national norm changed over time. They're just showing us so that we can see what our change looks like. Okay. But this is 2013.
That's based on 2013.
Right.
It's not compared to the other.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sorry?
I noticed that we the words per minute is one thing that we read. What about comprehension? Do we do any testing on comprehension? I mean, they're reading at so many minutes, so many words per minute, but are they comprehending? Are we doing any kind of testing?
So in terms of a screener, no. Our state-based assessments, like our ISET and stuff, certainly have a very large comprehension component. In a data team setting where the teachers get together and look at data, those tests that we look at to really see where our comprehension strands are through our Pearson reading series. So they give unit benchmarks, and then data teams will look at the RCBM data in combination with the Pearson data, and we'll use both of those data sources to make some decisions about which students need which type of intervention.
We will see also a very high correlation between influence measuring comprehension. Not a correlation, but it's really not identity. So for screening measures, our CPM should give us some data about right, but it's not going to.
Right, and with it being a screener, it's that quick, you know, easy to administer, quick, every kid gets it, comprehension is I mean, it is a beast. Like, you do need time to read a package and really assess it. So once the park exam comes into play, I talked to you about that before, that's our new state exam. We'll see, obviously, comprehension being addressed through that as well. And as our Common Core teams meet throughout the rest of this year and into the summer, we'll be starting to develop common assessments for the standards at each grade level. So we hope that that can be yet another data source to kind of get on that comprehension piece.
I noticed that that information came from Pearson. Are those benchmarks established by Pearson, or how do they? That's where curriculum comes from, but other developers of other curriculums, how is that benchmark?
Okay, so Pearson just owns the world. Like, that's what we have to remember. So Reading Street, Pearson does own Reading Street, but it also owns Ames Web, which is what we use for this. So even though in our mind they're connected, the Ames Web national norms come from a huge family size that Ames Web and the creators of Ames Web do. They just sold Ames Web to Pearson. And then on the flip side, Reading Street is owned by Pearson as well. So like our new state assessment park is owned by Pearson. So they own everything. It's not tied necessarily to Reading Street. Okay. Does that make sense? And I joke, but they really do own the world. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I just said that you want to fight person stock.
I mean, I was almost going to say
Any other questions? All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Next, we go on to the non-business consent agenda. It's been recommended that the Board of Education approve the non-business consent agenda items A through F. Thank you. Vicki?
Colin Barnes,
Yes.
Nina Fontana,
Yes.
Vicky Hernan Faber,
Yes.
Mary Hess,
Yes.
Tom Mattia,
Yes.
Victoria Newport,
Yes.
Tracy Williams.
All right, the business consent agenda has been recommended that the Board of Education approve business consent agenda items A through J. Vicki?
Nina Fontana,
Yes.
Vicky Hernan Faber,
Yes.
Mary Hess,
Yes.
Tom Mattia,
Yes.
Victoria Newport,
Yes.
Tracy Williams,
Yes.
Colin Barnes.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Next, we're on to business and finance. And our first topic this evening was the approval of technology upgrades in the one-on-one pilots. With Dr. Doug Muller, we are going to table this till the next meeting. And all that is one more time to update some numbers on devices and a few other things. So there may even be some grant implications here. So we will have this back to vote on in 2 weeks from tonight. The approval of Little John Elementary School heating and air conditioning improvements, bid results. Tammy Parsons, that it's been recommended that the Board of Education award the bid for renovating Little John Elementary School HVAC replacement to Mechanical Inc. in the amount of $930,000, which includes the base bid along with alternates numbers 1 and 2. In addition to the bid amount, it is also recommended that the Board of Education approve an additional $167,400 contingency dollars for architect and engineering fees. Do I have a motion?
So
Thank you. Thank you. All right, Amy?
Back in November, I received approval from the board to go out to bid. If you recall, our Little John boiler has been giving us a lot of difficulty. It is a steam boiler, one of just a few steam boilers left in the district that it was in need of replacement. At the time, there was also a grant that was available, an energy efficiency grant, this program where this would qualify for $250,000 in matching. Unfortunately, we were not in the list that was approved. We were 300 and some out of only 97 that were approved. We have seen through ISB that they do come sometimes with a second round of approval, so we are still hopeful, but at this, as of this round, it's not been approved. We still anticipate when this was put out, and the FFAC is recommending the use of construction grant money for this project up to $1 million. Fortunately, this did come in under budget by over $200,000, even with accepting alternates 1 and 2. So I am recommending moving forward with the base as well as the 2 alternates. And with this, I do want to note, alternate 1 is the addition of a chiller system, which allows for air conditioning in the remainder of Little John. We can choose to not go with that at the $124,000 price, and the system will still be compatible in the future to adding a chiller to it. It's a 2-pipe system. It's somewhat how Founders was designed when their boiler was put in, so that is an option with this. But again, based in that we did come under the budget by over $200,000, I am recommending moving forward. I did ask the engineer that worked on this project what the potential cost is to run air conditioning in that building, because obviously there's an ongoing operating cost, and that's anticipated to be at about $3,500 a year to run the air conditioning, additional dollars to run the air conditioning. But I do believe that based on the efficiencies we're going to obtain in having a new boiler system versus the old steam boiler, will far outweigh that $3,500 cost of the air conditioning.
All right, very good. Any questions? Oh,
Can the air conditioning be done later?
Yes, it's the addition of a chiller. So that chiller can be added at any time. Just like I said, Founders is the boiler that was installed at Founders several years ago, so it's the same way it's a 2-pipe system. That should we choose to add air conditioning to Founders, it would come at approximately this cost, possibly a little bit higher because of the larger building.
How many elementary schools are allowed to not have a year? Not fully.
Not fully AC, that would be Jefferson, Malta, Little John, Lincoln, Founders, and Founders, thank you, and Founders with the chiller. So 5 out of the 8. There's portions of each of those buildings that are air conditioned, but it's a small portion, usually like the Commodore and Williams.
any other questions? Well, thanks, Tim, and I think this goes some of the hard work the FAC has done. I know they've spent a lot of time on this as well, so this helps us grow toward that building parity. All right, Vicki?
Vicki Hearn in favor?
Yes.
Mary Hess?
Yes.
Tom Mattia?
Yes.
Victoria Newport?
Yes.
Tracy Williams?
Yes.
Colin Barnes?
Yes.
Nina Fontana?
Yes.
Okay, next new business, the approval of monitoring contract for Cortland Elementary School air quality. Dr. Doug Muller, this is an action item. It's been recommended that the Board of Education approve the attached contract from Aries Consulting for a period commencing March 1st through February of 2014 through February 28th, 2015.
Well, I just wanted to let you know that obviously this did not come before you as an information item. We received a report from Jeff Bocci, our consultant. The proposals he's put together addresses all the recommendations that came out of his report and then some. In addition to that, in addition to this, there's plans to where buses park in the morning before they arrive, before they can drop the students off, because that was thought to be possibly one of the precipitating factors to elevate CO2 levels. I'm sorry, carbon monoxide levels in students. So we just wanted to move forward with this. We told Mr. Bocci this is a 1-year, it would be a 1-year contract, at which time we will either put it out as an RFP or continue on with this services.
Any questions? No? I was just about to read that. Sorry, Tom, I was out of order there. Sorry about that. It's been recommended that the Board of Education approve the. Oh, no, I read that. I did read that.
You can read it again.
No, I'm sure that's enough. Sorry about that.
So I can't put my motion.
Thank you. All right, Vicki.
Mary Hess?
Yes.
Tom Mattia?
Yes.
Victoria Newport?
Yes.
Tracy Williams?
Yes.
Colin Barnes?
Yes.
Nina Fontana?
Yes.
Vicki Hearn in favor?
Yes.
I apologize for that. After a couple of meetings, you think you'd have this figured out.
No, you don't.
Approval of new software for emergency protocols. Tammy Parsons, this is an action item. It's been recommended that the Board of Education approve the purchase of the Crisis Go application with funding provided through the safety and security budget for 2013-14. Do I have a motion? Thank you. Tammy?
A couple of months ago, this product was brought to me at a facility director meeting, and what it is it's a program that's available as an application through iPads, smartphones, computers, laptops, whatever it might be. And what this does, after seeing it at this group meeting, I brought it in and had it presented for the Alice team, and the Alice team consists of Connie Rollman, Jose Jaquez, and Aaron Lockhart. And immediately upon presenting it, it was evident this is something that a district of our size really needs. What it does, it will put all of our emergency protocols at the fingertips of anyone who has this application installed, whether it's on their phones, on their iPads, on their computers. It doesn't eliminate the paper because we are not opting at this time to provide those devices to every employee in the district, but it does give that convenience, especially when it comes to administration. And those protocols, as they're updated, will be updated through this application. It provides evacuation maps that are current. So again, by the touch of an application, you'll have your evacuation maps. It also has all contact information and a variety of other things that will benefit anyone involved in a drill or an actual emergency. It also has an option that if a teacher finds, for example, that the lock on their door is not working properly, they can actually enter it into this program after the drill, and it sends a communication piece to my department so that we know we have something we need to address immediately, rather than, oh, I mentioned it to this person, and oh, I forgot to tell this person, and those things happen, unfortunately. So after taking it to Safety Task Force a couple weeks ago, it was decided that we did want to move forward with the purchase of this, and it is at a first-year cost of $8,000, which is the application price, as well as an implementation fee. And the other piece that I didn't mention that it provides is it actually uploads our current rosters every day through Skyward. So what that does is it provides our staff a current list of who should be in their class or who should be in school that day. We're also looking at a software program that potentially would also upload in visitors that have checked into the district. So that information would also be available. But with the upload and the interface, the total cost for the first year is $8,000. And each year after that is approximately $6,000. And the Safety Task Force is recommending using the safety and security budget that we have for recommended projects for safety and security, and moving forward with the purchase of this so that we can work to roll it out with the company and have it ready for implementation by the first of next year.
Any questions? Yes, Paul.
You can print the software, so the packets that will be posted and printed copy will be generated from the software.
Correct.
Great. So it's one place that will store all the information, whether it's print or electronic.
Correct.
It's also my understanding, Tammy, that we can, I guess the term would be interface, but cooperate with the Cal Police Department, yes, and they too can access this.
We can actually, by providing anyone, whether it's first responders, administration, or whoever it might be, providing them an access code, you can actually go to your smartphone right now to the app stores and find this and download it. But you have to have a password and authorization to use it. So by providing it to the first responders, and we have talked to, obviously, our SROs as well as they talk to their chief of police, and they are very interested in having this available to them because, again, they don't always have our current information at their fingertips. You know, a change might be made to a protocol, and they aren't aware of it, or staffing changes that could be right there and current because of information we're able to feed into this system.
So it's a site license, not a user license. We can get it for as many people
Yes,
as we want.
it is.
Any other questions? No? All right. Thank you.
Tom Mattia,
Yes.
Victoria Newport,
Yes.
Tracy Williams,
Yes.
Colin Barnes,
Yes.
Mike Fontana,
Yes.
Vicki Hernan Favor,
Yes.
Mary Hess.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Tammy. It has been recommended that the Board of Education approve the attached resolution directing the issuance of notice to remedy for town of Davenport.
Resolution. Start.
Thank you. Thank you. Vicki?
Victoria Newport,
Yes.
Tracy Williams,
Yes.
Colin Barnes,
Yes.
Nina Fontana,
Yes.
Vicky Hearn in favor,
Yes.
Mary Hess,
Yes.
Tom Mattia,
Yes.
All right, recommended revisions to the Board of Education policies first reading. The Board of Education will hold the first reading of recommended revisions from the Illinois Association of School Board, or School Board to Board of Education policy 4.100 as attached. I guess that's it. No, we don't even need to move. That's information on it. We're just holding our first reading. If you guys would indulge me just a moment before we adjourn, I had a statement I'd like to read briefly. I wanted to take a moment to reiterate how the school board and administration has devoted the resources required to address the concerns of the Cortland school families. There are three parts to the action plan that the district initiated immediately following the event of January 14th. The first part is the investigation of the incident, followed by equipment and monitoring reviews, and finally response preparedness. In the spirit of full disclosure and transparency, we will be posting the presentation that Mr. Bocci of the Aries Corporation presented in the town hall meeting to the community onto the district website for anyone to review. We will be posting it to the Cortland Elementary webpage. As was evidenced tonight, the final two elements of this process are being initiated as expeditiously as possible. We took action on the agreement to utilize Aries Corporation for the appropriate maintenance and monitoring of the sensing equipment in the school. We will be improving the accessibility of the monitor results on the Cortland School webpage. Protocols for the effective use of this equipment will be documented and complied with from this point forward. Lastly, we will be implementing new emergency software that will improve our ability to respond to any type of emergency throughout the district. We realize that there is much to do in the area of staff and administrative preparedness. We will begin training and professional development in these areas in an efficient and expeditious manner. This includes training for emergencies that we have not previously trained for. Implementing protocols that take out much of the interpretation previously left up to the staff and administrators at Cortland Elementary, and finally, more open communication with the family members and staff by utilizing the Cortland Elementary monthly newsletter for updates on the progress and implementation of these remedies. We are committed to having a credible and fact-based, we're committed to having a credible and fact-based solution in 30 days' time from the town hall meeting held in Cortland on January 17th. I apologize, Danielle, for missing that date by 2 days, as we had to have this meeting to approve these recommendations legally. I want to thank Dr. Moeller, Andrea Gorla, Connie Rollman, and Tammy Carson, along with many others who have made this a priority and worked to find solutions that the district can be confident in implementing effectively. Sometimes good things can come from undesirable experiences. In this case, I believe our district will be better prepared for many things that we hope never come. On that,
I want to thank you for your leadership.
do I have a motion to adjourn? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.